Good morning and welcome back. Now, before I say anything else, I need you to stop. Stop whatever you're doing, because what I'm about to share with you in the next few minutes could genuinely change the way you move, the way you live, and the way you age. I'm not being dramatic. I've been practicing medicine for over 2 decades, and I can tell you with complete certainty that the biggest threat to your independence after the age of 60 is not your heart, not your memory. It's your legs. Specifically, it's the silent, invisible loss of muscle and strength happening in your legs right now, today, whether you feel it or not. Here's what nobody is telling you. A landmark study published by the Journal of Gerontology tracked over 4,500 adults between the ages of 60 and 85. And what they found was alarming. Adults who showed significant leg weakness were 76% more likely to become physically dependent within 5 years. 76%. Not slightly more likely, not marginally more at risk, 76%. And the terrifying part is that most of these people had no idea it was happening to them. They thought the fatigue was just aging. They thought the heaviness in their legs was normal. It's not normal. It's preventable. And today I'm going to show you exactly how to fight back using something you already have access to, food. And here's the one that surprises everyone, and I promise you, the #1 food on this list today is something most doctors never mention. In fact, I've had patients come back to me after starting it and say, "Why didn't anyone tell me about this years ago?" So stay with me all the way to the end, because that one might just be the most important thing you hear all week. Before we dive in, I want to ask you something personal. How old are you right now? And when did you first start noticing weakness in your legs? Was it getting up from a chair, climbing stairs, or maybe just walking longer distances? Leave your answer in the comments below. I read every single comment on this channel, and your story might help someone else who is going through the exact same thing. Now, we're counting down today from 4 to 1, ranked from powerful to absolutely extraordinary, because I want you to walk away from this video with a real plan. Not vague advice, not confusing science, a real practical plan you can start today. Let's get into it. Coming in at number 4, and this one already surprises most people when they hear it, egg shags. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You've spent decades being told eggs are dangerous, that the cholesterol would kill you, that you needed to avoid them. And I understand, because that's what the mainstream narrative pushed for years. But the science has shifted dramatically. And if you're over 60 and you're not eating whole eggs regularly, you are leaving one of the most powerful muscle-preserving tools on the table. Here's what the research actually shows. A study out of the University of Illinois, published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, compared 2 groups of older adults doing the same resistance exercise. One group ate whole eggs after their workouts. The other group ate an equivalent amount of egg whites. Same protein, same calories. The group eating whole eggs showed 40% greater muscle protein synthesis. 40% more muscle building response from the same workout just by eating the whole egg instead of throwing away the yolk. That is extraordinary. And it comes down to something called anabolic resistance. Let me explain what that means, because this is crucial for everyone watching over the age of 60. Anabolic resistance is the term we use to describe how aging muscles become less responsive to protein. Think of it like a lock that's gotten rusty. When you're 30, a small amount of protein easily unlocks the muscle building process. But after 65, that lock is stiff. It takes more, and it takes the right kind to get the same response. The yolk of the egg is loaded with leucine, zinc, vitamin D, and something called phosphatidic acid, all of which work together to oil that rusty lock and help your muscles actually respond to the protein you're eating. Without the yolk, you're getting the key but missing the oil. Now, here is a patient story I want to share with you. Margaret, 71 years old, retired school teacher from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. She came to my clinic complaining that she'd been struggling to get off the toilet without grabbing the wall. She was embarrassed about it. She told me she'd been avoiding eggs for 15 years because of cholesterol fears. I put her on 2 whole eggs every morning with a specific pairing. I'll tell you in a moment. And within 8 weeks, she told me getting up from seated felt, in her words, like a completely different body. Her grip strength improved, her balance improved, and she stopped grabbing the wall. For preparation, the best way to get maximum muscle benefit from eggs is to cook them with a small amount of butter or extra virgin olive oil, not margarine, not seed oils, and eat them within 30 minutes of any morning movement, even a short walk. 2 to 3 whole eggs per day is the sweet spot for most people over 60. And here is the synergy tip that makes this dramatically more effective. Pair your eggs with vitamin C, a small glass of orange juice, some sliced tomatoes, or a handful of strawberries. Vitamin C plays a critical role in collagen synthesis, and collagen is the scaffolding that holds your muscle fibers together. Eggs build the muscle. Vitamin C holds the structure. Together, they are remarkably more effective than either alone. Moving up to number 3 on our countdown, and this one carries some of the most impressive research I've seen in the last decade. Fatty fish, specifically salmon, mackerel, and sardines. Now, I know sardines get a bad reputation, and we'll talk about how to make them taste incredible in a moment. But first, let me tell you what they do inside your body, because the mechanism here is unlike anything else on this list. The omega-3 fatty acids found in these fish, specifically EPA and eicosapentaenoic acid and DHA, docosahexaenoic acid, do something that no supplement, no drug, and no other food can replicate quite as efficiently. They directly combat the #1 silent destroyer of aging muscle, and that destroyer is chronic inflammation. Think of chronic inflammation like a slow-burning fire inside your body. You can't see it, you can't always feel it, but it's consuming your muscle tissue every single day. After the age of 70, this inflammatory process accelerates significantly. And research from Tufts University showed that older adults with elevated inflammatory markers lost up to 3 times more muscle mass per year than those with lower inflammation levels. But here's what the omega-3s do that is almost miraculous. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, and I'll put the full reference in the description, found that older adults who supplemented with omega-3 rich fish for 6 months showed a 35% increase in the rate of muscle protein synthesis. 35%. That means their muscles were building and repairing 35% more efficiently, not because they changed their exercise or their protein intake, but because the inflammation was no longer blocking the process. The omega-3s essentially cleared the road so the nutrients could actually reach the muscle cells. There's another mechanism here that's equally important for my patients over 75, and it involves something called mitochondria. Think of mitochondria as tiny power plants inside every muscle cell. When they're working well, your muscles feel strong, energized, and responsive. As we age, those power plants deteriorate. But EPA and DHA from fatty fish have been shown in studies from the University of Aberdeen to actually improve mitochondrial efficiency in aging muscle tissue. They're not just reducing inflammation, they're recharging the power plants that make your legs work. I want to tell you about Robert, 74 years old, retired electrician from Columbus, Ohio. Robert came to see me after 2 falls in 6 months. He was using a cane, and his daughter had started researching assisted living facilities. He was devastated. We put him on a program that included fatty fish 3 times a week, combined with the other changes we're discussing today. And within 12 weeks, Robert threw away his cane. He walked his granddaughter to her school bus stop for the first time in 2 years, and he called my office just to tell me that. That is what this is about. For preparation, fresh salmon is ideal, but frozen salmon is almost identical nutritionally and far more affordable. A 4-ounce serving 3 times per week gives you a clinically meaningful dose of omega-3s. If you find the taste challenging, canned sardines packed in olive oil, not soybean oil, are exceptional. Mash them with a little mustard and lemon on whole grain crackers, and the flavor becomes genuinely wonderful. The synergy tip here is powerful. Pair your fatty fish with leafy greens, spinach, arugula, kale, because the magnesium in those greens enhances the way omega-3s are metabolized at the cellular level, making the entire process significantly more efficient. This pairing alone can amplify your results by a remarkable margin. Now, before we get to the top 2, and I promise you, number 1 is going to change the way you look at your pantry, I want to take a moment to ask you something. If this information has already started to shift how you're thinking about your health and your strength, would you do me a favor right now? Hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. I create this content because I genuinely believe that nobody should lose their independence to something preventable. Every click tells the algorithm to share this with another senior who needs to hear it. And I take that responsibility seriously. Now, let's keep going. Number 2 on our countdown, and this is the one that my colleagues in orthopedic surgery and sports medicine have started recommending with growing enthusiasm. And honestly, it's about time. That food is Greek yogurt, specifically full-fat, plain Greek yogurt. And before you think this is too simple, too ordinary, let me show you why the science behind this food for aging legs is genuinely remarkable. Here's the core problem we need to understand. After the age of 65, your body requires significantly more protein per meal than it did in your 40s just to trigger the same muscle-building response. A 40-year-old might need 20 grams of protein to stimulate muscle synthesis. By 70, some research suggests you need closer to 35 to 40 grams per meal to achieve the same effect. And many seniors are getting far less than that per meal while also dealing with the anabolic resistance I mentioned earlier. Greek yogurt is one of the very few foods that delivers a dense, bioavailable, rapidly absorbed hit of protein in a form that aging digestive systems handle exceptionally well. A cup of full-fat Greek yogurt contains between 17 and 20 grams of high-quality complete protein, rich in all essential amino acids, with a particularly high concentration of leucine, the most critical amino acid for triggering muscle protein synthesis. Research from McMaster University in Canada, led by some of the world's top muscle physiology experts, demonstrated that leucine acts like a light switch for muscle building in aging adults. Most foods don't deliver enough leucine in a single serving to flip that switch. Greek yogurt does. But the muscle-building protein is only half the story. Full-fat Greek yogurt also contains something called conjugated linoleic acid, or CLA, which has been shown in multiple studies to reduce the breakdown of existing muscle tissue, what scientists call muscle catabolism. Think of it this way. If your muscle is a bank account protein deposits money in, CLA makes sure less money is being withdrawn at the same time. Both effects happening simultaneously make Greek yogurt exceptionally powerful for leg strength preservation. There's also a gut health component here that most people miss entirely.